was cold, sterile, smelling faintly of disinfectant. Ethan sat in the stiff chair, hands folded tightly in his lap. Thought. Floors and lights hummed overhead, casting harsh shadows across the walls.
"Can you tell me where it started?" the doctor asked, voice calm but probing. Ethan swallowed, throat dry. "The forest. It was silent. Too silent."
The words hung in the air, fragile against the hum of machines and the distant footsteps in the corridor. His pulse throbbed in his temples as memories clawed at the edge of his mind. He shivered. The winter wind howled outside the clinic window, rattling the blinds like skeletal fingers. Ethan's eyes darted to the corner of the room, imagining shadows that weren't there.
I can't explain it all," he whispered, voice trembling. "It's too much. But it started there, in the forest."
And as he spoke, the walls of the clinic seemed to fade, replaced by darkness. The chill of the forest pressed close, damp leaves clinging to his skin, mist curling around his ankles like living tendrils. He was there again, back on the road, back to the night that would never leave him. Fog clung to the asphalt like a living thing, curling around the headlights like fingers. Branches scraped against the windows, scratching as though they wanted to peer inside. The forest loomed on either side, black and unyielding.
Maya shivered, pulling her jacket tighter. "I don't like this. It feels wrong," she whispered.
Jake scoffed, trying to mask his unease. "Relax. It's just fog, nothing more."
But Ethan couldn't shake the feeling. Something watched them, unseen, a presence waiting, patient and silent. His chest tightened, heartbeat quickened, and then she appeared. A figure standing at the edge of the road, small, bent, cloaked in layers of ragged fabric. The scent of smoke and decay clung to her like a second skin.
Her finger raised, crooked and trembling. "Do not go there," she said, voice gravelly, and cutting through the fog. "The house. It remembers everything."
Ethan blinked, heart hammering. "Did you see that?" he whispered. Jake laughed nervously. "She's probably lost. Fog plays tricks."
But when Ethan looked again, she was gone. No footprints. No rustle of leaves. Only the fog, pressing closer, as if alive. The car moved forward. Slower now. Jake's bravado faltered.
"Old lady nonsense. Let's just get to the party."
Ethan's mind raced. Her eyes empty, knowing, waiting. Something in that gaze had rooted itself in his chest, refusing to leave.
Maya gripped his hand. "We shouldn't be here," she whispered, trembling.
Even Jake paused, scanning the trees, unease creeping over him. For a fleeting moment, Ethan thought he saw her again, closer this time, emerging from the mist. Her eyes locked with his, empty, piercing-eyed, waiting. The fog grew heavier, clinging to tires and wheel wells. Shadows between the trees seemed to crawl. The room remained dimly lit, the hum of fluorescent lights pressing on Ethan's temples. He was back in the clinic, rigid in the chair, staring at the tape recorder between him and Dr. Palmer. Dr. Palmer adjusted her glasses, her voice measured. "Ethan, you mentioned a woman in the fog. Can you describe her warning again?"
Ethan swallowed. It didn't just happen that night. I heard her voice again later, on this.
He gestured toward the recording device. The tape spun slowly, capturing the scratch of old reels. A static-laced whisper slithered beneath his voice. "Do not go there."
"I thought I imagined it," Ethan continued, voice shaking. "But the recorder, it picked it up. My words and hers. The old woman's voice."
Dr. Palmer leaned closer, frowning. The second voice was faint but undeniable, echoing the warning Ethan had heard on the road. Ethan's eyes widened as he remembered her vacant gaze.
Shh. She warned us, he whispered. The house, it remembers everything. I can still hear her eyes.
Dr. Palmer scribbled notes, her brow furrowed. The room felt colder now, the shadows stretching across the walls. Ethan's chest tightened with a rising panic.
I can't stop hearing it, he said finally. The echo, it follows, even in the tape, and she knew what was coming next.
Outside, the wind rattled the blinds, and for a heartbeat, Ethan swore he heard it again. That crooked, tremulous warning. Do not go there. It was late. The fog pressed close to the asphalt, thick and clinging, curling around the headlights like fingers. Ethan and his friends drove cautiously, laughter fading into uneasy silence. The forest loomed on either side, black and unyielding. Branches scraped against the windows, scratching as though they wanted to peer inside. Maya shivered, pulling her jacket tighter.
I don't like this. It feels wrong, she whispered.
Jake scoffed, trying to mask his unease. Relax. It's just fog, nothing more.
But Ethan couldn't shake the feeling. Something watched them, unseen, a presence waiting, patient and silent. His chest tightened. All that needs your dear hinterhy. Helga, salt, demon one, Heartbeat quickened, and then she appeared, a figure standing at the edge of the road. Small, bent, white, cloaked in layers of ragged fabric. The scent of smoke and decay clung to her like a second skin.
Her finger raised, crooked and trembling. Do not go there, she said, voice gravelly and cutting through the fog. The house, it remembers everything.
Ethan blinked, heart hammering. Did you see that? He whispered. Jake laughed nervously. She's probably lost. Fog plays tricks.
But when Ethan looked again, she was gone. No footprints, no rustle of leaves, only the fog pressing closer, as if alive.
The car moved forward, slower now. Jake's bravado faltered. Old lady nonsense. Let's just get to the party.
Ethan's mind raced, her eyes empty, knowing, behind, waiting. Something in that gaze had rooted itself in his chest, refusing to leave.
Maya gripped his hand. We shouldn't be here, she whispered, trembling.
Even Jake paused, scanning the trees, unease creeping over him. For a fleeting moment, Ethan thought he saw her again, closer this time, emerging from the mist. Her eyes locked with his, empty, piercing gut, waiting. The fog grew heavier, clinging to tires and wheel wells. Shadows between the trees seemed to crawl. A week later, the lights of the party blurred through Ethan's drunken haze. Laughter, clinking bottles, and music pulsed around them. The memory of the old woman's warning lingered like a shadow he couldn't shake.
Jake grinned, a glint of mischief in his eyes. Come on, let's see if the legend's true. That house won't bite us, right?
Maya hesitated, fear flickering across her face. Ethan's stomach twisted, part of him screaming to stay, part caught in the reckless pull of curiosity.
Are you serious? It's just wrong, Maya whispered.
Jake laughed. Don't be a baby. We'll go, take a look, and be back before sunrise.
The night air bit as they climbed into the car. Fog pressed around the headlights like a living thing. The road stretched black and empty before them. And then she appeared. The same small, bent figure, cloaked in rags, standing in the middle of the asphalt. Ethan's breath caught. Jake swerved. The tires screamed on wet leaves, spinning the car into a shallow ditch. Panic erupted. Emma's door flung open. She stumbled onto the cold asphalt, hitting her head on the car frame. Blood blossomed across her forehead.
I can't. I'm going back, she stammered.
Before Ethan or Jay could stop her, she disappeared into the mist. Her terrified screams faded as the night swallowed her. Only the echo of her footsteps remained. Maya stayed, trembling, gripping Ethan's arm. The forest seemed to lean closer, the fog curling around their legs like living fingers.
I don't like this. I don't like this, she whispered.
Jake muttered, his bravado faltering. This place, it's alive.
Ethan shook, chest tight, every instinct screaming to turn back. But curiosity and something darker pulled them toward the shadowed house on the hill. Together, Ethan, Jake, and Maya stepped from the car. The house loomed, a hulking silhouette against the night sky. Windows like empty eyes, walls curling with rot and shadow. Every step toward it made the air heavier, the fog thicker.
Jake whispered, awe and fear mingling. Come on, let's see it.
And so they entered, unaware that the house was already listening and waiting. The front door groaned as Ethan pushed it open. Rotten wood, damp air, and the faint metallic scent of rust filled their noses. Shadows clung to corners, stretching unnaturally, as if the walls themselves were breathing.
Maya clutched Ethan's sleeve. This is worse than I imagined, she whispered, eyes wide.
Jake smirked, trying to mask his unease. Relax. It's just an old house. Come on, let's explore.
The wooden floorboards groaned under their weight, echoing in the empty rooms. Every sound they made returned to them, delayed, twisted, like a mocking mimic. Did you hear that? Maya's voice trembled, repeating a laugh from the hallway. Only moments later, an identical laugh echoed behind them.
Ethan's stomach churned. Yeah, it's echoing, but not right.
The wallpaper peeled in long, curling strips, revealing strange symbols etched into the plaster. A cold draft whispered through the cracks, carrying murmurs that sounded like distant voices. Ethan spoke, almost reflexively, his own voice bouncing back, delayed. Hello. The answer was his own voice, twisted, laughing in tones he had never made. It was mocking. Alive. Good.
Jake swallowed hard. This place is alive. Ethan finished for him, voice tight, heart hammering.
A floorboard snapped behind them. They turned, only to see shadows shifting faster than their eyes could track. Maya clutched her head, whispering prayers she didn't know she knew.
Stop following us.
The hallway stretched longer than possible. Doors that hadn't been there before appeared at angles that defied geometry, and every echo of their movement seemed to multiply, creating phantom footsteps they couldn't escape. Ethan's heart raced. The house wasn't just listening. It remembered. Every sound, every step, every laugh, stored in the walls, waiting. The air inside the house thickened with each step. Shadows pooled in corners like dark liquid, stretching and twisting as if alive. Maya clutched Ethan's arm, her knuckles white, eyes darting to every corner.
I don't like this, Maya whispered, voice trembling. Something's here, watching us.
Jake forced a laugh, though his eyes betrayed him. Don't let it get to you. It's just an old house.
But the house had other plans. The floorboards creaked and groaned as though sighing under invisible weight. Every echo of their steps multiplied, surrounding them, circling them, mocking them.
Ethan stopped, listening. Do you hear that? Whispers.
A cold draft swirled at their ankles. The whispers grew louder, indistinct words curling in a language Ethan couldn't recognize, yet somehow understood. Maya trembled, pressing close to him.
They're saying our names, she gasped. Jake, Ethan, Maya.
Jake swallowed hard, glancing at the ceiling where shadows seemed to stretch downward. This place, it's alive, he muttered, voice low, as if admitting a forbidden truth.
The group moved forward, and the hallway split unexpectedly. Doors appeared where there had been none. The walls seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting in sync with their heartbeats.
Ethan whispered, almost to himself, "We shouldn't split up."
But the house had already divided them. Jake went left, drawn by a faint, flickering light. Maya and Ethan went right, footsteps echoing against walls that seemed closer than possible.
Maya's voice quivered. Ethan, stay close. Don't let it separate us.
And as they moved further into the darkness, every whisper became clearer, repeating not just their names, but their fears. Every regret, every secret, every doubt whispered back at them, as if the house had collected it all, storing it for this very moment. Ethan hesitated at the top of a narrow staircase, the wood groaning under his weight. A foul, damp smell rose from below. Like mold and old ash, he swallowed, heart hammering, and stepped down into the darkness. The stair seemed endless, twisting unnaturally, the air growing colder with every step. Whispers slithered around him, curling through the walls in a language he didn't recognize, yet somehow understood.
"Hello," Ethan called softly, voice trembling. "Is someone there?"
No answer, only the echo of his own words, distorted, mocking, replayed in tones he had never made. Then, a whisper, soft and raspy, coming from every corner at once. "Ethan."
Ethan's breath caught. "What? Who's there?"
The walls glimmered in the faint light of his flashlight. Symbols carved deep into the plaster stared back at him. Pentagrams, circles, and lines that seemed to move, writhing as if alive. The floor was littered with ash and fragments of bone.
He stepped closer, voice shaking. This is some kind of ritual."
A shadow detached itself from the far corner. Small, bent, toothed, ragged. The old woman appeared, eyes black and empty, whispering from nowhere and everywhere.
The house remembers every scream, she hissed.
Ethan staggered back. No, it can't be real.
The whispers multiplied, echoing through the subbasement. Ethan's own voice joined them, repeating words he didn't speak. The floor seemed to pulse under his feet, walls contracting, closing in.
He tried to call out to Jake and Maya. "Guys, get down here. Something's wrong."
But his words returned as laughter. Mocking, cruel, and unfamiliar. The old woman's shadow melted into the darkness, leaving only the walls alive with memory, with pain, with voices that would not let him leave. Jake's footsteps echoed through the hallway, uneven and hollow. Maya clutched his arm, trembling. The walls seemed to shift as they moved, corridors elongating and bending in impossible angles.
Maybe we should go back, Maya whispered, eyes wide. I can't find him. It's like the house swallowed him.
Jake tried to sound confident, but his voice wavered. "We'll find him. Just stay close."
Shadows multiplied, stretching across the ceiling, crawling down the walls. Every echo of their own voices returned, distorted, mocking them, speaking in half-formed words. Jake, Maya, Ethan. Each whisper cut through the silence, cutting deeper than cold steel.
Maya gasped. Did you hear that? His voice?
Jake nodded, heart hammering. "I heard it, but it's not him. It's the house."
They reached a cracked mirror, fragments reflecting them endlessly, but one reflection moved independently. Maya's reflection smiled, while she herself trembled. Jake's reflection shook its head violently, though he stood frozen.
This isn't real. It can't be real, Jake muttered, voice barely audible.
A door slammed somewhere above, echoing through the halls. Footsteps ran past them, though no one was there. Maya clung to Jake, tears streaking her dirt-smeared face.
Jake, we have to find him. We have to...
But her words were cut short by silence. Ethan was gone. The air thickened, heavy with the scent of smoke and ash. Shadows swallowed the space where he had stood, leaving only the oppressive weight of the house.
Jake called out, voice cracking. Ethan, come back. Don't.
The walls seemed to pulse, the whispers rising into a roar. Their own footsteps repeated endlessly around them, echoing from corners that didn't exist. Maya screamed, grabbing Jake. The house answered with laughter. A sound that was not laughter. A sound that promised they were trapped. Forever. Ethan stumbled into a vast chamber in the basement, walls lined with dark symbols that pulsed as if breathing. Ash, bone fragments, and dried herbs littered the floor. A pentagram sprawled before him, drawn with meticulous care, radiating a chill that sank into his bones.
He whispered to himself, voice trembling. This is it. The ritual. It's real.
The shadows thickened, coalescing into faces. Distorted, familiar, his friends twisted by pain and fear. Maya's eyes glowed with an unnatural light, mouth opening to scream, though no sound emerged. Jake's face contorted, frozen in terror, echoing an invisible agony.
Ethan's hands shook as he stumbled toward the pentagram. No, I can't. I want.
But the house would not be denied. Voices whispered in a language older than memory, curling around him, demanding, "Say the words. Remain, or be forgotten."
Ethan tried to resist, voice cracking. I don't know them. I can't.
The air thickened, pressing against his chest, each breath a struggle. The shadows of his friends reached toward him, skeletal fingers grazing his arms, their mouths moving in silent pleading. Or mockery.
He stumbled onto the pentagram, voice forced, terrified. Stay. Remain. Leave me be.
The symbols glowed, pulsing in response. The room spun, gravity twisting. A sudden clarity struck him. He could either join the house, surrender to its dark memory, or escape and leave it thirsting for another.
Ethan screamed, almost incoherent, as the shadows lunged. No, I won't. Stay away.
A flash of light erupted, the shadows recoiling. The house seemed to shudder, groan, alive with anger. The whispers became a single, harsh voice. You already died here before.
Ethan collapsed to the floor, gasping, trying to pull himself together. I have to get out. I have to get out.
The pentagram's glow dimmed. The faces of his friends faded into the walls, leaving only their echoes. And Ethan realized what he had just survived was only a fragment of the house hunger. It would follow him, always. Ethan staggered out of the basement, his body trembling, lungs burning with each frantic breath. The hallways above twisted as if alive, each step echoing back at him, a distorted mockery. The air smelt of damp wood, ash, and something fouler. Something that clung to his skin and hair.
He muttered under his breath, voice ragged. I have to get out. I have to survive.
Shadows stretched toward him from the corners, curling across the floor like living serpents. The walls whispered his name, low and gravelly, teasing his sanity. Ethan. Ethan.
Stop. Leave me alone, he shouted, heart hammering, legs weak.
A door loomed ahead, light spilling through cracks. He lunged toward it, breath ragged, hands scraping at the warped wood. Outside, dawn was breaking. Pale, gray light spilled across the forest clearing.
Ethan gasped, staggering forward. Fresh air, sunlight, anything.
Behind him, the house groaned, protesting his escape. A scream echoed. Jake? Maya? And or merely the walls themselves. Branches clawed at his arms as he ran, each snap and rustle sharpening his terror.
He didn't look back. Just keep moving.
The mist thinned, the forest opening into the familiar path toward the road. But every step still carried the weight of the house, its whispers lingering. Even as sunlight warmed his face, the chill of the basement remained in his bones. And then he saw her, standing silently near the edge of the forest. The old woman, cloaked and silent, her eyes met his, empty yet knowing. The echo follows, she whispered.
Ethan froze, shivering. It's not over.
He staggered toward the road, finding the remnants of the overturned car. The fog rolled across the clearing, carrying the faintest hint of laughter. And though he was free of the house's walls, its memory clung to him, whispering promises of return. Days later, the forest was quiet, eerily still. Police tape fluttered in the morning breeze, marking the area where the car had gone off-road. Officers murmured among themselves, uneasy, eyes darting to the trees. Near the edge of the clearing, hanging from a gnarled branch, was the body of Emma, her face pale, eyes wide in silent horror. Around her, symbols etched into the ground mirrored the pentagram from the house's basement.
Detective Harris spoke softly into his radio, voice tight with disbelief. We found her. It's just like he said.
Officers stepped carefully, avoiding the dark ash and bone fragments scattered around. Jake and Maya were nowhere to be found. Only the empty house loomed on the hill, silent, watching the police investigation with its dead eyes. The forest remained still, but the echo of the house laughter still clung to the air. The police couldn't find the truth, but Ethan knew it. The sounds of the forest faded. The chill of the clinic returned. Ethan was back in the sterile room, staring blankly at Dr. Palmer.
Dr. Palmer cleared her throat gently. And what happened to Jake and Maya, Ethan? Ethan's eyes darted to the corner of the room, wide and vacant. They're still there, he whispered, voice barely audible. Watching, waiting.
Dr. Palmer sighed, scribbling notes about severe PTSD and hallucinations. She closed her notebook, placing it beside the tape recorder.
Ethan, you need to rest. We believe you're safe here.
As she stood to leave, Ethan reached out, his face contorted in a silent plea. His lips moved, whispering words no one else could hear. But the tape recorder, still running, picked it up.
A low, gravelly whisper, overlapping Ethan's own voice. You already died here before.
Dr. Palmer closed the door, locking him inside. And on the silent tape, the whisper of the old woman, or the house itself, chuckled. The echo follows,